All right, so here we are. We're in the heartland of Middleburg, Florida, and I've positioned myself strategically here because we have a paved road. Now you're going to say, Russell, what do you mean? Why are you highlighting a paved road? Well, we're in rural part of the country where 97% of the country is. It's rural land. And what's interesting that a lot of investors don't realize is that most of your rural land is either gravel or dirt roads. And previously, before I owned this land business, I had owned a Christian bookstore. And it was most of my clientele, it was about 40 to 50%, so about half, they were actually lived in small towns like this. And I finally asked one day, I said, why do you live in these rural areas? And they loved the serenity that was there. They loved the peace that was there. They loved seeing deer floating around the neighborhood. And they didn't mind living on that dirt road. And so again, why I'm highlighting the paved road is usually what you'll experience, because I want to give you some of the behind the scenes dynamics about land, is that when you get into a rural subdivision, usually your main road like this is a paved road. So you'll see a lot of cars go in and out, because there's only two major arteries that get into this rural area where people live, where there's 5-acre tracts, 10-acre tracts, 30-acre tracts, is this one paved road. And then spoked off from this paved road, we'll see a variety of dirt roads and gravel roads that some of them are poorly maintained, some of them are well maintained, and usually that depends on if there's a lot of dwellings on that street, how well that area is maintained. But I remember showing an investor one time, she was thinking about making a purchase in a rural area, and she asked me to drive her out to a place like this, and I did, and she said, well, there's no streetlights. There's no stop signs, there's not a lot of civilization out here. Well, but that's what people want. They want to be able to enjoy the country and on their own terms, but they have access to the super Walmarts and the grocery stores within reasonable driving distance. So gas now doesn't become an issue for a lot of these people, and gas prices and with the price of everything going up, because there's still a lot of affordable opportunities in places like this throughout the nation. Now, on this segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about how are buyers actually financing land. If there's really buyers out there, how are they getting hold of the money? Because land is a form of real estate. Can you really get bank financing for land? So I'm going to answer a lot of those questions. And remember, there's a variety of different types of land that are available. In this particular area, there'll be two segments. There'll be the raw land, where it's the open, pristine land. It could be a combination of maybe some pasture land and timberland. And then there's also the small parcel vacant land, which is the 20 acres or less. Those are prevalent in this particular section of the 300 or 500, I think in this county, 500,000 acres, total acres that are available in this area. So there's a lot of exciting opportunities. So when it comes to buyers and financing, well, what's interesting is there was some polling data that I've been able to extrapolate from the internet. The wonders of the internet strike again. And what I've been able to see is that about 30 to 35% of those that are looking to buy rural land in this economy are hoping to find owner's financing. So that's a tip for you and I, as you become that land investor like me, is one of the key questions now that I ask a seller: are they interested in doing owner financing? And again, I'll go into a little bit more detail about sellers, but to suffice to say that there are a lot of sellers, because of capital gains taxes, that would be willing to actually sell their parcel of land and have someone pay for it over time, instead of selling it and taking a lump sum and then paying the capital gains tax. And so there's more and more sellers that are interested in that scenario. So That's 35% of the market is looking for owner financing, or they have some money down and they could negotiate some monthly terms with the landowner. That is something that is a really growing segment in this particular industry, and we're seeing a lot of great opportunities because of that. Now, the next type of financing is that, remember what I said about there's a segment of buyers that strictly look to land like it's a stock, straight up stock. In fact, the average amount invested in land today, and I'm going to let you take a guess. So yell at the screen there. What do you think is being the average amount invested in land today in this economy? Well, it's actually $100,000, and that's a pretty tidy sum. So where is someone going to come up with $100,000 to buy a piece of land? Well, again, they want to take these investors who are straight up investors. They're looking to grow their money and use land as a mechanism to grow their money as a part of their investment portfolio. They're taking that $100,000 and they're taking it out of that McDonald's stock, or they're taking it out of a 401k, and they're actually straight up buying with cash. And that's about 25% of the market. Now again, I'm talking in the marketplace where we currently live in 2010. And so this is not something that's happening in the past. This is what the current trends are at this point. So from there, the other segment that is open to buying land or wants to buy land is those that are looking for bank financing. That's about another 25%. Well, surprisingly, there are lending institutions that are interested and eager to loan money for land, but they're specific banks and lending institutions specifically for the land market. And I have some information in my manuals where some of those major lending institutions are around the country and how they can service your need. And so this is an exciting time to be a part of land. So our first tip, we're in the rural area, and we got to find the major paved road. So we're at that major paved road right now, and now we're going to start to have some fun actually exploring some of the different land parcels and get you excited about becoming involved in land just like me.